All right. Okay. We're about to get started here. I'm going to just find it on the Facebook page so I can see if there's any comments. All right. Just getting set up. And here we go. Welcome. We'll get started as people start to join in. I'm really, really happy to be here doing a live on my page today. So basically, the format is going to be that I'm going to start talking about some of the ways in which the subconscious mind creates difficulties with creating changes of habits and behaviors and feeling less afraid. And then I'll get into talking about more about what exactly is hypnosis and how does it work. Just go through some myths and misconceptions about hypnosis, and then I'll get into the session. So if you have any questions along the way, I'm totally cool. I love any comments or questions in the comments under this video. And yeah, let me know if there's anything resonating with you. Let me know if you have any questions as I'm going along. I'll keep glancing at it and looking to see. And otherwise, I'll get rolling here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm really excited to be here. And I thought I'd chat a little bit about fear because fear is something that I work with every day. If you could think about anything that we want to accomplish, and if we could think about even things that cause us pain and suffering, like anxiety or future based thinking that is worst case scenario, or um, even say wanting to lose weight and the fears that could be stopping us from being able to do the things that we feel like we should be able to do. And I mean, this is a time where there's a lot of fear in our world, a lot of fear in the media. And so I thought it would be valuable to get into a little bit about how the mind creates fear and what fear is. And then we'll do a hypnosis session for fear release. And also, when we think about fear, there's so many general topics, right? Because fear could be stopping us from like making as much money as we could. Fear could be stopping us from having the type of relationship that we want, or even bettering the relationship that we're in. Because if we're afraid of being vulnerable, or afraid of opening up, or afraid to be ourselves, or afraid to come out of our comfort zone and just go for that different job, or take a risk, or leave a relationship, or delve into a relationship in a more intimate way, or I mean, we could think of fear and the blocks that it could create in all areas of our lives. So we're not focusing just on one fear, because fear all works the same. And I bet some of you can really attest to that, seeing how, you could literally go on the internet and read something right now and it would cause you fear. And if you start to notice when you start thinking about the future in a fearful way, it creates a moment of fear in the moment. So even if I, felt fear about something in the future, but looked around, I could see how nothing in my immediate environment is causing me to actually be afraid. I'm not going to get all into the science of it right now. I want to just speak to the nature of the mind and, remind everybody how fear is a construct and how fear is something that if there's a real thing in front of us that we're seeing right now is different if we felt afraid than if we're being afraid or feeling afraid because of our thinking. And so, there's that part of the mind that causes us to think about how we could be doing better than we are, how maybe we should be doing better than we are, and maybe even how, I have a lot of people coming into into work with me that would say, oh, like I know I should be eating like this. I know I should be going to the gym, or I'm just lazy, or I know I could do this better. So there's a function of thinking that seems to be fairly common around a logical type of perspective of what should be or is possible because of what we intellectually know. It's just that the problem with that is that in the subconscious mind, so this deeper part of the mind, if we think of like what's running the program, you know, the actual part of us that's running the program, if that part of us has beliefs and feelings and perceptions based on our past experiences and things that we learned, especially growing up, then it's not that easy. It's actually not that easy. Because if you think about all of the experiences that you've been through, all of the ways that you got hurt, all of the ways that you might have come to believe something about yourself or about life or about money or about love or about sickness or about disease, um, then there's a lot of unprocessed material because often when we experience things that cause us to um, create a belief, then it hasn't been resolved. People will say, well, this is my red flag for relationships based on how I got hurt in the past. Or I'm not opening up anymore because last time I did, I, it wasn't good for me. Or, I need to protect myself. Because basically, if we think of fear, then the byproduct of fear for survival is our minds thinking about how we need to protect ourselves from that ever happening again. So if I burn my hand on the stove, ouch, I am going to not do that again on purpose because I remember that I got hurt doing that before. So this is very helpful. This is very helpful for our survival. It's really great. It helps us survive. It's just that emotionally, when something happens and we get hurt, and then we've got like a planted piece of trauma or unprocessed material in our minds, then it's not always beneficial. It can close us off to the things that we truly want, and it can definitely close us off to the peace of mind and the serenity that we truly desire. As you can probably relate, when your mind is just like, it's just thinking and thinking and thinking. And it feels like it's not in your control because it somehow got triggered, something really caused it to get super active. And then it starts to come to all these beliefs, like happens tons in relationships, right? When people are like, oh man, like because he said this and it shows that he didn't respect me or she wasn't doing this. And then we start to develop all of these ideas about what's right or what's wrong and how we can't tolerate that. And then we start to really spiral in terms of our thinking. And then that creates so much stress. I'm sure that that's happening with everyone now. It could be very easy for the emotion of fear to be triggered and then for it to create a lot of excessive thinking and a lot of stressful thinking. Because if we're thinking about what is actual peace of mind, what is actually being able to live healthy and happy, we are thinking about how to create less stress for ourselves. And strong emotions that are triggered create a lot of stressful thinking. And then we start to go into more of a fix it mode, right? Oh my gosh, I've got to do something to fix this. I definitely have to go out and buy a lot of toilet paper. I'm just kidding. Um, but, but that's actually true. Like it is how the mind works. Like the mind actually falls into a fix it mode. That's why, say, if we're having a fight with someone that we're in a relationship with, our daughter, or, parent child, any type of relationship, we're going to be, um, we're going to get emotional. And then oftentimes we think, okay, logically now I need to do something about this. And then that's where I'm going. So then we get into this fix it mindset of kind of going, oh, right, like I should be able to do this. I know better. But the thing is, intellectual, logical, conscious mind knowledge isn't the same as like embodying information and truth and being able to live by it and from it. It's like a lot of people will say, oh, I know everything will work out. But while inside, they're feeling so afraid. So when we're talking about the type of work that I use hypnosis for, it's that. It's the idea of accessing unprocessed material or just processing material because it's not jarring. It's just developing a way to be in touch with the part of the self that's stored uh, hurt, stored emotion. And when we process that, it changes everything. It changes how we feel. It changes how we are in our relationships. It changes the way that we interact with others. And that's how you change habits and behaviors. So it's not an external issue. So we don't use an external solution. We use an internal solution for an internal issue. And so basically, say you want to stop smoking, say you want to start eating better, say you want to go to the gym, say you want to read more, drink more water, wash your hands more, whatever it is. The approach from external to make yourself do it or try to have more willpower or do more is often very unsuccessful. And even if it's successful for a small amount of time, it hasn't truly changed from within, which is why it doesn't actually last and it doesn't become an embodied knowledge that then becomes how you do things. So when you process the unprocessed material, you just do things differently. Like we don't even have to focus on the habit change. And I did want to say this because that's more of a really simplified way of hypnosis, or I kind of think of it as like a somewhat of a classical style of hypnosis in a sense, because it would be like putting the person into a relaxed hypnotic state and then giving them suggestions, right? And I think that this is a very common perception of hypnosis, but I like to do a more advanced hypnosis because I like to discover root cause. I like to get to the unprocessed stuff in order to create the change and the shift from within, like where it's done, to then change the habit and behavior. So, like a basic hypnosis would be put the person into a relaxed state and then maybe say, you don't like this food, you won't eat this food anymore, you think it's disgusting, you're going to feel great not eating this food, you're going to feel really good not smoking, you actually hate smoking, you don't even like it, you don't even want to do it, you love waking up every day and going to the gym, these kind of things that I think are very normal excuse me, for this kind of idea of maybe what it would be like to work in with hypnosis. And so the thing about that is that that's like still kind of a band-aid. It's still kind of it's a temporary solution where you could feel better. And again, you could walk away and do those things. But those type of suggestions are so much more effective when they are, well, one, when the resolution has already been created and experienced, and then two, when you're in the subconscious mind and there's no resistance, then introducing something like this, like you're going to feel great. You know, every day in every way, you feel better and better. Every morning you wake up, you feel like stretching and you go to the gym or walk to your exercise equipment feeling really happy and proud. You know, these kind of things can work. But again, what is the belief? What is the thought? What is the feeling? What is the perspective that is stopping that from happening to begin with? And in the age of self love, I think this resonates with I know this resonates with a lot of people because there is there's an understanding now about the ways that we compromise what we feel or what we need in order to, you know, keep living by the beliefs for survival. Maybe we feel like we need to sacrifice feeling good to make money, or we need to put our true needs, even our health needs, you know, aside in order to get everything done that needs to get done. Or it could even just be simple, where we just have limiting thinking about what's possible, what we could learn, what we could do, what type of relationship we could attract, you know, and how much more money could come in, how much more financial abundance and wealth that we could have. And so there's that's just part of the human process. You know, it's just part of what we need to do in order to evolve. We need to be understanding the nature of the mind and how life works to really win it, you know, to really live by it and live with it in a way that allows us to be less fear based and making choices and decisions from fear, and more connected to our inner wisdom and making choices and decisions based on how we feel. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting because when everything changes, everything changes. When things shift, it shifts. A shift can happen like that. A shift can just happen in this space. And you know, it can really be fantastic. It can really be, it's life changing. And so when we're talking about this idea of hypnosis, and I know that there are a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis, and I know that people will still come in, you know, feeling fear, about, or feeling nervous, I guess, about doing hypnosis until they do it, of course, because there are a lot of entertainment style hypnosis, or even you know, stage shows, TV shows, just like there's a huge, funny, actually awesomely entertaining element to hypnosis. There really is. And it's not that that's bad, it's just that it creates a perception that somehow working with hypnosis would be being out of control, or would be somehow I would be controlling the person's mind, or they would somehow be unconscious, or maybe they would be asleep, like they wouldn't hear what the hypnotist was saying. Maybe they could get stuck in hypnosis, or something could go wrong. And so, really, it's just not like this, you know? It's really so not like this. Oftentimes, people will feel like they weren't hypnotized if they heard what I was saying the whole time. And then, of course, everybody goes deeper the more they do. So it'll always kind of be a lighter stage to a deeper 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 stage. Some people start out at a really light stage. Some people start out at a medium light stage. Some people just are more susceptible and start out at a deep stage. And so that's where that misinformation comes from, where people go to a live show and then they come off, or they get sent back to the audience, or they did some little, finger lock where they said you can't try, but you can't pull your hands apart, try, and then they pull their hands apart, and they then automatically the sort of sets a belief like, oh, I can't be hypnotized. But the thing is that, again, like I was saying, there's so many different levels of hypnosis. And for a lot of the behavior change that we're working with, we just need a light state. But again, everybody goes deeper the more that they do. And even at this very deep state where the person's mind might be really drifting off and not paying attention as much and really relaxing, they're still going to hear what I'm saying. Yeah. Because hypnosis is not sleep. Sleep is unconscious, where we could speak to someone and they wouldn't hear us. Hypnosis is the levels before, before sleep. So you're going to hear, and this is also good because then you can hear me if I say, when you come out of hypnosis, you're going to buy me a new Lexus. You would hear me say that, so you would, and you wouldn't do it because I don't have the ability to control your mind. What I do is guide you into that deeper space of the subconscious where the logical mind is less active, so that you can start to create what you want your future to be, how you want to feel, and start to resolve things that are getting in the way by bringing awareness to them. So you become more aware, you can visualize them leaving, and you can develop a deeper understanding of why you created that habit, behavior, feeling from the beginning. So yeah, music is a form of hypnosis, Darcy, because everybody is always in hypnosis at some point during the day. Even in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, where I am, we have a driver training manual for everybody, and the driver training, it says watch out for drivers that are in hypnosis on the highway, something like that. Watch out for drivers on the highway, they might be in hypnosis. And like, it's so true, because hypnosis is a factual thing. It's just a slight shift of mind, because if you think about driving, I think drivers are all in hypnosis at some point or another. Think about driving home from work and you don't remember how you got there. So then you just get home and then you're back, and you're like, okay, get the stuff from the car. But while you're driving home, you didn't even have to think about it. And so what was really happening was that the subconscious mind was driving the car, while the conscious thinking mind was thinking who knows what, maybe listening to music, maybe daydreaming, maybe thinking about what to make for supper, or what someone said at work. It could be thinking about anything. But the subconscious mind, because it's always running, it's always listening, drove you home safely. And so that's where the missing piece, I think, is often in the safety aspect of hypnosis. So we're going to get into the live right away. I just have a couple more things to say about this kind of misunderstandings of hypnosis, and then you'll have the opportunity to lay back or close your eyes or just kind of drift into the deeper state. And we're going to go for a real relaxed session today. And then the other thing is like, yeah, you can't get stuck in hypnosis because, again, it's just a natural state of mind. You would never do anything that you're not actually okay with doing. And sometimes I really think of like being a hypnotist as being like a dehypnotizer. Like, I think that unhypnotize people more than I hypnotize them, if that makes sense. Because we use the state of hypnosis in order to create new perceptions, new beliefs, new feelings about things. And this is very common in our culture now. This is a very common knowledge where, Wayne Dyer said, you know, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so changing perspective is everything. We could choose to think about something in a fearful way, or we could choose to think about something in a way that is everything is going to be okay way. And it's going to create the same mental pattern depending on which one we think more. But the thing about using hypnosis as a space to create change is that we don't have to just keep trying to program it. We go into that space and we release whatever has been stopping us from doing it, from feeling it. So we could say, oh man, like I gotta stop thinking and feeling afraid. I've gotta think positive. I need to be telling myself every day, um, positive thoughts and and still feel afraid. Because if we're getting triggered by unprocessed material in the subconscious mind, it's going to keep happening no matter how many times we tell ourselves that we're okay. Because the inner self does not feel okay. That emotion is still there. And as long as it's still there, the self is not feeling okay. That's why it doesn't work to try to calm ourselves down or say, I got to relax, or I should be okay with this, or like I knew, all of this kind of stuff. It's like, it's not true. That's why we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves, because how the mind is actually functioning is not like that. It doesn't work to try to convince ourselves of what that deeper mind doesn't believe to be true. Um, yeah, it's okay if you've had some wine, if you want to do this hypnosis, because really, again, we're just going to shift into a relaxed state. It's not, it's something that everybody who comes to me, they're after they do hypnosis for the first time says, wow, like I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to relax because my mind's always busy and I have a lot of stress. And I can't calm my mind, and they just can't even believe how relaxed they were able to get. And that's where we're going. We're going to go. And the one thing I'll say is, like, if you're in it and you don't feel super relaxed in your mind, like your mind's not going to just turn off and stop thinking thoughts. It's going to think thoughts, and we're fine with it thinking thoughts. Your mind thinking thoughts is not going to get in the way of you being able to relax. You'll probably feel the relaxation more in your body, and you'll start to recognize that even when your mind is thinking, you're still able to relax, because it's the nature of the mind to process, to try to process feelings. And I'll just say that if you do experience emotions or feelings as we're doing this, let it rip, let it come out. Let yourself feel it. You'll be amazing. You'll have such a great release. Like, you'll feel great. Everybody's going to sleep better, feel better, and if you do feel anything uncomfortable, let it be. You've really got everything in you to handle any emotion that you feel. Okay. I'm going to look at the page for a moment as we're getting ready to do this. Does anybody have any questions before we get into the hypnosis portion? And what I'll do is after we come back, after everybody comes back, I'll do a little debrief. I'll do a quick little debrief at the end and just talk about what, and then for sure, any questions I would love to answer. And so for those of you watching that are interested in taking hypnotherapy training with me, I do have the 2 classes coming up in Regina and Saskatoon in April and in May. And I'll go over that more after. But if you're watching or participating in this session, as a potential interested in learning hypnotherapy to practice it on others, excuse me, then what I'm going to do, so what I just did was like a very like a very in it's a pretty in-depth like pre-talk about talking about the misconceptions and helping people understand what is hypnosis. We definitely learned that in class. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of testing, like imagination exercises as we get into it. And that'll be really nice to have feedback to see how everyone kind of felt when we were going through the different steps, because it's really just like little steps and techniques along the way, to getting to this more relaxed state. And so if you're watching, I'm going to basically do a session where I just did the pre-talk, and then I'm going to do some intro and some suggestibility stuff. Then I'm going to do deepening. I'm going to do, the induction, so the process into the hypnotic state. Then I'm going to do the release, and then I'm going to do the building, so the confidence building, the trust building, um, from there. And then we can talk about it. So this is something that you would learn how to do in the training. Okay. So let's take a moment and just take a moment to get comfy. And, if you're sitting up, that's okay. Like you could just close your eyes and lay back, or you could lay down. Like you don't have to watch me. You can just listen to me, right? You can definitely close your eyes. Yeah, however you like. And we'll get started here. So today we're really going for fear release, emotional freedom, and money beliefs, because money is really tied up in fear too. And it seems to me that everyone has some limitations around financial abundance that we could break. So money beliefs, emotional freedom, and releasing fear and stress today. Okay. And thank you, everybody who's tuning in. I really look forward to going now into this space with you guys. So let's begin. If your eyes aren't closed, just close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. You might even find that you could take a few deep breaths, maybe even in through your nose, nice and clearing, out through your mouth, like just a total relief. Knowing that right from the beginning, every breath that you take takes you deeper, relaxed. If you're just tuning in, you can close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. Remembering that all you're doing is just dipping more into your true nature. Remembering that you're just softening into yourself and knowing that every breath that you take takes you deeper, relaxed. And sometimes people do like to imagine that every breath is like a wave of relaxation flowing from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And it's like every breath sends another wave and another wave. Muscles will continue to soften, lengthen, loosen, breathing easy. And really every sound that you hear, plus the sound of my voice, any sounds around you, are going to continue to take you deeper, relaxed. In fact, all things are supporting your relaxation sounds. The sound of my voice, sensations in your body. If you need to move, any movement that you make will take you deeper, relaxed. Even if you were to kind of come out and go back in, that also takes you deeper relaxed. Muscles continuing to soften, lengthen, and loosen. Breathing easy. That's it. I'm going to get you to focus on your eyelids for a moment. So just take a moment, focus on your eyelids, and let your eyelids become really nice and heavy. Nice and heavy, nice and relaxed. In fact, relax them so wonderfully that they are wonderfully, comfortably stuck shut. So it'll be like the more that you try to open them, the more that they just keep sticking closed. And then even when you try to open them, notice that you can't. And then you just stop trying. Or if they did, close them again and go deeper, relaxed. That's it. Every breath taking you deeper, relaxed. Feeling this way that you can let go of the day, or maybe let go of all the stuff that's been building up in your mind or your body. Like if you feel that kind of vibrating tension, just keep softening into it, softening the edges of those feelings. And if you feel it kind of in your chest, just keep softening. Keep softening. Now, in a moment, I'm going to get you to open and close your eyes. And this is a way that we use, this is a technique that we use to just develop a faster access into that deeper subconscious mind. So what I'll do is I'll count to 3, and at 3, I'll have you open your eyes, and then I'll snap my fingers. And when I snap my fingers, close your eyes and double your level of relaxation. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, eyes open and eyes closed, going deeper, relaxed now. That's it, deeper and deeper relaxed. Again, 1, 2, 3, eyes open, eyes closed, deeper, relaxed, twice as deep now. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, eyes closed, drifting deeper with each breath. That's it. I can feel that. That's it. There's nowhere you got to go. There's no way to do this wrong. You can't fail at it. You're just coming more into your own inner wisdom. You're connecting more to the force of life that runs through all of us. And Friday the 13th, in the past, with the lunar calendar was about us all being one, about, the force that runs through us like a faucet that never stops running is in all of us and connects all of us, even if we can't touch each other right now. And we can feel it. And so you, along with that, me and everybody that's here with us, is a community. And we're all built from the same stuff, Our minds all work the same. Our hearts are all connected. And we are all one. And so the energy of the day is to tap into our inner wisdom. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to deepen this. And by doing so, I'll get you to imagine just some type of beach. All we need is a wave rolling onto the sand and we're good. And so imagining the waters rolling up and washing in calm. And then as the wave recedes, washes away tension. So this is a real calm in, tension out. Calm in, tension out. And then using your imagination, even just pretending, you could write your name in the sand. So you write your name in the sand and the water keeps bringing in calm, releasing tension. If you've been feeling any tension and if it's kind of been building, imagine the water washing it away for yourself. And then imagine the water washing away your name from the sand completely. And once it's completely washed away, go deeper, relaxed. That's it. Deeper, relax. And then coming to my voice again, tuning into your body and how your body feels, maybe scanning, breathing, and softening even more. Shoulders relaxing, neck, breathing easy. Just keep letting go. It's your choice, really, how much you let go. You know, I'm not there, I can't see you, and it has nothing to do with me. You know, I hold the space for you to go where you'd like to go in yourself. And so there's no space you have to go to. Like there's no depth you have to go to. And you might go, it's your choice. It's really your choice. And even if you feel like, oh, I should be able to relax more. Nah, you can just relax where you're at. In a moment, I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And every number that I count down will continue to take you deeper relaxed. Each number, 10, more and more comfortable, more and more relaxed. 9, 8, 7. That's it. 6. It's like taking a vacation for your mind. 5. Even if you're having thoughts, am I doing this right? Could I relax more? Should I be feeling like this? Shouldn't I be more out of it? No, it's just tuning in, softening into, allowing the space to be created. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. Breathing room. Space to just be as you are right now in your body, wherever you are, alive on earth. Feel the ability that your mind has to expand, that your mind has to continue to grow and let in ideas and perspectives and thoughts about things that you never thought before. The mind is so limitless. You could imagine being in another country right now. You could imagine being in outer space looking down at the earth. And so as you begin to allow the limitations of the mind to be more expansive, it would almost be like kind of imagine it growing. Like if there was like a little tiny mind and then it just kept growing and then it just kept growing and then it just kept growing. It would be kind of like you could imagine your life wherever you are in the room that you're in right now. And then you could imagine it in the city that you're in. And then you could imagine it in the province or the state or the country. You could imagine your mind in the world that you're in the galaxy, and just feel how big your mind could be, and how from each of those different perspectives, life might look differently. How you feel might feel differently, and what matters to you might feel differently. So we're coming out of the thinking, the analyzing, the preparing, and the planning mind, and into the trusting and the creative, the creating mind, the connected mind, the part of you that truly knows what's right for you. And so to think about what you want to release. I'm not going to get very specific because I know that everybody can have something that they want to let go of today. And it might be a fear, it might be a worry, it might be something that's causing you anxiety. It might just even be the way that your mind has a tendency to think about things in a fearful way, or thinking about the future in a worst case scenario type of way. You might want to let go of something that you've been resisting grieving, you know. You might want to let go of the feelings that you have about something that happened with someone in the past. You might want to let go of the ways that you stress or worry or think about money. And you might want to let go of the things that you tell yourself in order to think it's okay, like it's necessary to feel negatively or limited about money. You might want to let go of the ways that you talk to yourself about what's possible if they're not effective. Um, and or you might just want to let go, you know? You might just want to relax more, enjoy more, be present more. So, how we're going to do this is I'm going to just get you to imagine, kind of building it up. Like you got all this stuff you want to let go of, and maybe it's just something specific, but you're putting it on a pile, okay, in your mind. And that pile might just be a bunch of color. It might be a blob. It might be like, it might be stuff, like you're cleaning out your storage space, or you're cleaning out your clutter. Because basically, this is what's happening. And some of the stuff you will know why it's there, and that it's ready to go. And then some of it will be your subconscious knows. It's also getting the direction to let go of everything and anything known or unknown that you no longer need. Okay? So pile up your stuff, guys. Just pile it up and let it really just be a representation of you letting your mind know, I'm good. And here's the thing to remember in this part of the exercise is just that your mind's never going to let go of something you need for your highest good. And if there's something that you're resisting letting go, just set the intention, just say, I'm ready to let go of what I need to in order to feel better. I'm ready to let go of what I need to in order to be more free, in order to have more money or have better relationships or be better at feeling better about myself or love myself more. It's more about like your mind getting on the same page, honestly. Like it just needs to know this is what you want it to do. So build it up. And then in a moment, I'm going to count to three, snap my fingers. And when I do, you're going to destroy it. You could burn it. You could wash it away. You could make it go poof. You could do anything that you want. Just make sure that you get rid of every dust, dirt, residue, particle. Um, and here we go. So getting ready, take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Let it go. Imagine it in your mind. Imagination is the language of the subconscious. So all you're doing is just imagining it going away. That's it. If it doesn't all go away, that's okay. Um, Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You don't have to force it. You just have to get a sense of it. If you can't visualize it clearly at all, just get a sense. Get a sense like, right. I am ready to let go of this. And I am ready to be free of this feeling, this thinking, this doing, this thing that I do or don't want to do, or. And just breathe. Breathe a little bit. And just keep relaxing. I'm going to speak to the subconscious a bit. So, subconscious mind, superconscious mind. Please release everything and anything known or unknown that has ever held them down or held them back, that's ever stopped them from living as happily and as peacefully as they can, and that has been left unprocessed. If there was a time, especially when they were younger as a child, where they didn't feel loved, they didn't feel accepted, they didn't feel worthy or deserving, they didn't feel confident, they didn't feel like they were enough, please give each and every person, please, superconscious mind, allow them now to be free from this feeling, from this way, from this habit forever. Please allow this to be shifted, resolved, and released at the level, reassessed. Please do everything and anything for their highest good. If there are any fears, phobias, worries, anxieties, concerns, guilt, grief, shame, give them the space today to release this now, to allow the shift to occur in order to begin creating a new neural pathway, a new way of existing from the head and the heart space. Superconscious mind, just please release any thing that's built up, anything that they are getting triggered from as a result of past experiences where they didn't have everything that they need, and allow them to come into a more easy, relaxed space with themselves. Like, let them see that there isn't any way that they could have done anything differently than they did. Let them see that it is the nature of the mind to try to separate us, to be critical, to think we should be better than we are, look better, feel better, do better. And please allow superconscious mind, everybody, to access the inner wisdom that is letting them know that all is well, that they are safe and secure, and in every moment can listen to themselves to know what they truly need to do. And please allow them to recognize that how they are, if they are trying to figure out what to do from a thinking, from an anxious thinking space, that solutions are not found there. Teach them to wait until they have a higher mood, a better mood, a more relaxed space to seek solutions from their wisdom within. That's it. Maybe take a nice deep breath and feel the space that you've created for yourself. And now We just have one more part before we come back from this. And this is about creation. This is where, as a hypnotist, I might start to make some positive suggestions, but this is your personal, this is your personal experience always. And so it's going to be really better for you to start to think about where you want to go, what really matters to you, what you want to focus on, what you want to do for yourself, what your body is needing, what your mind is needing. You know, it's like we might make sure our car is tuned up, but our minds are the part of us that is causing how we feel about every situation in our life. So start to think about it and be limitless. This isn't the time to be realistic, okay? This is the time to imagine yourself happy, imagine yourself healthy. Imagine how good it would feel to wake up in the morning with an energy to live and do things. You know, imagine how it would feel to have more money and to not be worried and stressed about it. Imagine how it would feel that you're going to be okay no matter what is going on in the world because you have the ability to develop peace of mind in yourself. You know, even if something happens, everybody can think of a time when they had a stressful situation or something was really bad and how they got through it, you know, and maybe you got some residue from that, so you don't feel that so true. Maybe you got through it, but you've still got unprocessed stuff because of the trauma and it hasn't been resolved. Okay, which is okay. Don't let that limit what you can do, because by imagining it better, already after you're done here, things are going to start to shift. They might, things might have to fall apart in order to get better. Things might have to be a little more uncomfortable because you're doing something new now. You're putting your needs first more. And so just start to allow yourself to not get stuck in limitation, really allow yourself to just feel better and believe in better, even if you haven't seen it, even if you don't have evidence of it, because when your mind is tuned into it and your emotions and your mind are working together, things always get better. 100% always. So, if you'd like to take another deep breath, feel the space that you've created for yourself. And if there is something that you want to, or you've been feeling to do for yourself, maybe you need a boundary, maybe you need to start doing something more. Maybe it's just drink more water or breathe more. Think about it now. And then in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And at 3, you'll be back in the room, eyes open, relaxed, awake, and aware. So 1, starting to let a little bit of movement come into your body, maybe into your hands, into your feet. 2, coming back even more. And 3, eyes open, back in the room, relaxed, awake, and aware. Okay. Good work, everyone. um, Pop me any questions. I'm totally going to answer questions for a couple minutes before we finish up. And just know that, so there's all deeper states, right? There's like different levels of depth. And so again, it's not like you have to get anywhere. It's more just being willing and open to delving into the process and kind of feel those things that are creating discomfort, really. Um, I did that thing at the beginning where I said, imagine your eyes stuck and then try to open, see if you can. Try to open them, see if you can. I can't see you guys, so I don't know like how many um, people's eyes got stuck or not. But basically, just so you know, if they opened, again, it's not a representation that you can't go into hypnosis. It's just something that we use as a way to like really allow the mind to begin imagining and then just kind of drop into that space. But if your eyes open, it just means that your conscious mind is still really active. You know, it's still going, yeah, of course I can open my eyes, so I'm going to. And then sometimes people feel like I really couldn't and I really tried. And then some people feel like I didn't even try because I knew I could if I tried, you know? So there's all different ways. And again, it's not a pass or fail. It's just for us as hypnotists to kind of see where the person's at when we do that, what kind of technique we'll use, and where they're at already. And then sometimes it could be to just maybe they weren't like fully kind of just gonna use their imagination and pretend at the beginning, right? And then sometimes like, yeah, Anjali, it's like your eyes just stay closed. Oh, you fell asleep. And people do fall asleep in hypnosis. Maybe you got really relaxed. Yeah. Sometimes people do fall asleep, and especially in a group, I can't see anyone either, right? So people definitely fall asleep, but like I always wake them up if they do. Because again, this is also why hypnosis is amazing for sleep because it's like training the brain to keep going into that space of relaxation where you could just fall into it, really. Like you could just like think about sleep, right? Sleep is almost always about the mind. Like sleep problems is like the mind. And so what hypnosis does, and which is why people go deeper all the time, um, um, that it really just creates that neural pathway. Like it creates the ability, it just tunes in and strengthens and reinforces the ability for the mind to relax. So that's how I feel like what part of my work is like I just keep training your mind to relax, and then you will be able to do it on your own. I see you guys here. Okay, yeah. Great. You really felt it. You could feel the relaxation. Someone started snoring. Um, yeah. And even with this kind of like coming out and going back in, these are ways that we use to deepen. And yeah, it's really fun. And then just to kind of experience relaxation on a way that's really different than resting or like even sleeping or like watching TV, because it's about training the mind to relax. Because we know that, like, like how much less fear do you feel now? Like, simple, right? Oh, this is awesome, you guys. I love the feedback. I'm really happy to serve in this way and to allow you to be in this space with yourself. And yeah, yeah. So I again, like, this is kind of like this is like a basic session, because it has all of the elements, and then you could experience the techniques enough to see how they work and how they create the relaxation too. So I'll tell you guys a couple things. Thank you so much for joining. I could hear on this end, like I was with you. If you watch back this, like when we're done, you can see like I was like going into it. Like at one point I was like, and I could feel even when you guys like got more relaxed, I felt it. Like when I did the countdown, I felt it, how much more you got relaxed. And then even when we were doing the release, I could feel it got lighter. Um, so here's a question. Even if we don't have the words or thoughts to think of, what will make us happy? Will it still work? Absolutely. Because again, words and dialogue and thinking is really a conscious mind it's not the language of the subconscious. So the language of the subconscious is imagination, but sometimes people think imagination is visualization, and visualization is not necessarily imagination, because imagination is just the ability to kind of imagine, sense, feel that this could be different, right? And I think everybody could tap into that heart desire to feel better, to be happier, to be less bothered by the small stuff that feels big stuff, to be more present. And so, absolutely, it's more about intention setting than visualizing, honestly. Um, I hope that answers your question. And then, yes, Vicky, I'm really excited for the training too. Like the class is really filling up. And, you know, I will say one quick thing about the class because of the coronavirus. Right now, because it's in April and May, all the classes still stand. Everything will be reevaluated at the end of March. Okay. Everything still stands. It's on the go. The locations are set, the dates are set, the time's set, and the people are there. Like it's going to be amazing. Um, and then this question, can you do hypnosis to yourself? Yes, yes. And I teach any client that wants to learn hypnosis, self hypnosis. I teach self hypnosis too. When you're a student in my class, you'll learn how to do self hypnosis. You'll do self hypnosis in the class, and then you'll also learn how to teach your clients to do and other people to do self hypnosis, because self hypnosis is really easy once you know what it feels like to be in hypnosis, and once you just learn how to drop yourself in it. Sometimes it's not as deep as if I'm putting you in it, but it's amazing. And you can still do this work of feeling and healing and letting go and releasing and creating. So I actually have been thinking about doing a Facebook Live about self hypnosis and teaching self hypnosis. So if that's something that you would be interested in, anyone, let me know, because I definitely am willing and love to create content based on what would serve people well. Um, because I really don't, I can't, I don't have time these days to do a self hypnosis class. But also, if you're in Saskatchewan, especially in Regina, if you follow the Saskatchewan chapter of hypnotherapist page on Facebook, that's my chapter. There is one of our members that she does in-person self hypnosis classes too that have been really well attended. I'm going to pop some links in the comments here today. So I'll pop a link to that page, and I'll also pop a link about the training. So I'll pop a link about Regina training. I'll pop a link about Saskatoon training. They're the same link, sorry. And then I'll also say that if you have a session booked with me, or you're going to book a session with me, and you're wanting to just stay in more, you can just switch it to online. We can make any in-person session online. And then I also have I have spaces. I have a few spots open right now for free consults. So I have hypnotherapy consults, and I have um, just if you want to call me and talk about what you want to work on, just to see if it's even something that I could help with, or even point you in the direction of what might be helpful for you. So I'll put those links in the comments. I think that's probably going to be the easiest. So the consult links, the chapter links, and then I'll put the class in. I'm not going to get too much into the class. It's out there. All that info is out there. It's going to be like a whole next level this time, because like even this hypnosis that I did is like more than would be kind of taught in a basic class. And we're going to definitely cover this. And thanks, Morgan. I love this. I love this. Yeah. So this is what happens too. So when you've been hypnotized before me, if you, excuse me, if you read Mo Williamson's comment, she was going into hypnosis even before we started the session. LOL, my mind loves her voice and is so used to it. So this is what happens. And this is why self-hypnosis is awesome too, because once you get into the habit, and then, someone like Mo, who's my student and also done hypnosis, is used to my voice. She doesn't even need all that I did for you guys. That's why sometimes it's like this misperception when people go sleep, because it's like it can happen. Like, she can just listen to my voice when I'm not even doing a hypnosis technique and go into hypnosis. And that happens after time. It's people don't just automatically all of a sudden with someone they don't know just go sleep. And it might look like that on stage, but it's really just the effect of it. And the hypnotist still has to deepen it. Okay. And then the last thing that I'll say is that, so with the training, I don't know if anyone on here is already a hypnotist, but with the training, we get into all of this. We get into the subconscious mind, the nature of the mind, but then we really get into how to work with specific issues. Because, cool, you're in the space, you got the person there. How do you resolve the process and process the trauma? I feel like that sounds like surgery or something, or it's like but it's really not. It's so gentle. It's just knowing how to work in the subconscious mind to create the resolution. Okay, that's a massive part of my training. And then I have the 2-month online class, which is something I started last year with the students, but it's open to anybody who's got hypnosis certification, hypnotherapy, hypnosis. And it's where I mentor hypnotherapists to grow their practice. And I get into even more advanced techniques. So in the class, I introduce advanced techniques and teach the information. In the mentoring group online for 2 months after the practicum hours are done, so a month or two after, 2 months maybe, I'd have to look at the exact dates. I'll post the link to this too. Then we really get into building your practice, and the things that you need to do really to get to have build a trust with your client. And this is something that I will say, because this is something I'm very proud of, which is I really am so proud of the trust that people can have in my students, because of the education that they've had. Because it's not just a certificate of knowledge, which we could get anywhere learning something. There's also certifications of competency. So actually proven their ability to practice a session with anyone with any subject. And I love that, because I think now there's just so many certifications. And I think that sometimes we don't know who to trust. And I think I know that this way of working with someone, like someone that can go really deep and really get there and have a release and cry, or see something big, there's got to be a feeling of trust. Okay. And then this question, how long is the live class? Do you mean like the 2-month online mentoring? Um, if you mean that, that's like an hour and a half every week, and it's actually a live coaching. So it's not like this. It's like I can see everyone who's on their video, and then there's an opportunity to be live coached in the class, and then everybody gets to learn from anyone who's live coached too. So that's just been amazing. We did it last year for the first time, because really I love certifying the hypnotherapists and giving them what they need to help others create freedom in their lives and build something new. But I know it's just the nature of taking a training to not follow up, to not right away delve into it and right away make it something that is actually happening. And so this is why I created it, to give continued support for your education and your passion, because I mean, if you want to take the training and not do anything with it after, that's totally fine. It's not that everybody has to, but I know that there's a big desire to. And there's a lot of things to building a practice. There's a lot of things to create clients, to have more confidence in doing deeper work, resolving deeper issues, discover root cause, uh, expand your knowledge about hypnosis, and most of all, be coached. Because I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have my mentors and coaches along the way to help me learn things that I didn't know. Or, I mean, for me, honestly, this is my gift, because I would have loved to have not had to learn everything that I had to learn, because when I came to Saskatchewan, there wasn't an industry of hypnosis, there wasn't a chapter, there wasn't a group that met and you could talk about hypnosis and learn about hypnosis with people. There wasn't a lot of other people practicing it. So this is just like I'm so happy that I could create the community that I really would have loved to have building my hypno practice. So I'll leave it at that. You can always Facebook message me. I'll right when I hang up here, I'll post a bunch of links. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me personally. You can message me on Facebook. That works. And yeah, I would just like to say thank you. And thank you so much for showing up for yourself, really. And take it with you, take your breath with you. Take your reminder that even in the space of chaos and fear, you can stay calm. You can keep coming back to yourself, keep coming back to your breath, keep coming back to what matters to you. And I wish you all the best. And I look forward to connecting more with you. Good night.